you're seeing an identity. And I think that's what really pumps me up. That gives me hope, is that we're seeing an identity.
Let's talk about Mauricio Pochettino. We've talked about the players, the performance, but let's talk about him. You know what's crazy is that we only have 6 more camps until the World Cup roster has to be announced for 2026. 6 more camps.
No, that's crazy.
6 more camps. Now, one of them is a Gold Cup, right? So that should be, hopefully, a month long. So that's going to be a pretty big and much longer camp than the one that he's been experiencing right now. He actually said before this game, they interviewed him before the game, he said, we didn't have that much time to prepare. Like, welcome to international football, big guy. You know, this is just how it goes. And yeah, so where do we grade him? Big Tones, you said that you saw some patterns of play. Charlie talked about it as well. What I know you're not into grades and ratings, but kind of where are you on where you think he should be based on taking over a new job and understanding our player pool?
Well, one thing I like is that we can't easily predict the starting lineup, right? We went through that for a couple of years. I felt like we could predict every lineup. I like what he's trying to do. He's trying to give players confidence in building out of the back. Even in a night where they knew that they were going to play in an awful field, we still tried to do it. So he's showing players confidence. I think we're doing it with the idea that we need to get forward a little bit faster. It's not just possession. I don't know if you remember that first half. There was a sequence on the far side of the field around midfield. It was Pulisic, Anthony Robinson, Tanner Tessman, and I think Weston McKennie got involved, where the movement, they were in really tight space. They had like 4 or 5 passes before it came back and back around the back 3 to the other side, and they got out. So I like what I'm seeing from the standpoint of we're seeing ideas from Pochettino that we haven't seen for a while. Yunus Musa starts on the right-hand side. We know Pulisic is coming inside. He doesn't hang out there the whole time. He tries to find some space in the middle of the field. Now, Scally doesn't come nearly as much as Anthony Robinson comes, but I like that they have that freedom. Christian clearly has freedom to go wherever he wants. Weston in that position has freedom to go where he wants. And what was the complaint for the last maybe year or so of Greg Berhalter's reign was that we looked like we were too stagnant. Like, you have to go here and you have to go here. And I feel like we're getting away from that a little bit. So that part I like.
Wait, you don't like to talk about what happens in zone 36 on the field, or like we got to get more touches in zone 18. You know what I mean? Otherwise, we're just not going to have success. I got a PowerPoint I can show you, Big Tones, if you want to see a PowerPoint.
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm good.
That's how this is going to work. So, Chuck, there are some patterns that we are seeing. Yep. We clearly have a formation in buildup where we're going to a back 3. We have our 2 holding, so a 3-4-2-1 in buildup. I think when we have that too, Christian is being asked to play centrally. He picked up a lot of balls, created the first and only goal for us of the whole game by picking up the ball centrally, picking it up in a nice pocket of space, turning as on the half turn as like he does, and then going with the change of speed and then laying a nice ball off to Ricardo Pepi, who did the rest. But I like him in that spot. And to Tones' point, it makes us more unpredictable, right? Yeah. Okay, if you go to try to scout us, you're like, okay, well, Christian does pop up here. But wow, sometimes he pops up wide, or actually he's even the second striker, or actually he dropped a little bit deeper to be off maybe an 8 in this particular situation. And that's just one player of many that is getting a lot of freedom. What are the things that you've seen that you really liked?
Well, I loved how Tanner Tessman, there were a couple of times he's supposed to be the deep lying midfielder. He made late runs out of midfield into the channel.
I remember that.
So,
that was cool.
So we started to see some movement in the midfield, almost too much, where guys were running into the same zone. We're talking about zone 18 and get out. Well, we had a couple of guys running into each other, or there was a pass into someone's feet, but someone was playing like right off their shoulder, and their lines were definitely crossed. So I obviously it's a work in progress. We could see that in this match, but I will say from an aesthetic, if you're just watching the tactics and the formations and the passing lines, the sequences, you're seeing an identity, and I think that's what really pumps me up. That gives me hope, is that we're seeing an identity. And we don't have Tyler Adams in. We didn't have Tim Weah in. We were Serginho Dest. There's still a lot of Gio. There's still a lot to tinker with, but from a nucleus standpoint, I really like. I'm encouraged with what I saw.
Okay, so using that as a segue into this part of
Time out. Also, I want to make a point. This is an away fixture in CONCACAF. We've seen this team in away fixtures in matches that actually matter, that count for something. It could be really ugly, and typically does not go our way. How many times have we watched them play on the road in CONCACAF? We had to cover it World Cup qualifying. It was terrible. Every time we tried to find a positive, I was like, shit, I can't find a positive.
Okay, so our last five.
This is positive.
Our last 5 CONCACAF away games at Mexico, obviously we just lost in October 2-0. At Trini, we lost 2-1. That was the second leg, though, and we were up 3-0 in the first leg. So, yeah, we lost, but we still ended up going through. We beat Grenada 7-1. We drew to El Salvador 1-1. That was Nations League as well, the group stages. And then we had at Costa Rica World Cup qualifying. Now, we had already qualified at that point for the World Cup, but it was a pretty disappointing performance. We got spanked.
Yeah.
So to your point, it's not that easy, and we've demonstrated that it hasn't been that easy for us with this particular core group of players. So as we've seen now a few games under Mauricio Pochettino, who are his guys? Like, every coach has their guys. They can say whatever, treat everybody the same, so on and so forth. But there's still
Turner. We'll start with Turner.
Tim Ream for sure. I thought Christian.
Tim Ream just,
yeah. I thought Christian would just be kind of Captain America from here on out. But Tim Ream's got the captain's armband, and obviously getting trusted.
Robinson,
Jedi Robinson for sure.
Yep.
Pulisic, obviously.
Musa. We can all agree Musa is one of his guys.
Well, we'll see if Weah comes in.
No,
we'll see if
he's found reasons to play him, right?
He's
from the very beginning. Sure. Yeah, he's very high on Musa.
Okay,
so,
and then
it's hard to say McKenzie and Scally aren't his guys. I mean, this is 3 games in a row now, right? With that group. Yeah.
But Chris Richards is in camp, so I wonder. Austin Trusty came on as a sub. I wonder if those guys get minutes in leg 2. But the problem is, this isn't a dick around friendly, right? This is a game you got to go out and do the business. Not to say those guys can't do the job, but if you were just bringing them in and had different ideas of where you wanted to get them minutes, I don't know. It's interesting. So I guess we'll find out. I guess we're still going to wait to find out who his guys are, but I think we can certifiably say Ream, Turner, Jedi, Christian, Musa. But I think McKennie and Weah will probably get in there at some point too.
A Testament getting a start, that tells you something today.
That's huge too. Yeah. That's true.
Remember,
all right, we're going to take
Poch's assistant went out to go watch him at Lyon, right? And
that's true.
Next thing you know, he's really involved, and then he stood out today. So, job well done.